Check my pedigree, I got legacy in my pot. You playing hopscotch, I'm at top notch on the block. Shouldn't slide like me, nah. Spice it up with a sauce. Yeah, my lord said don't do it, I said bah, bah, bah. Yeah, my lord said don't do it, I said bah. Yeah, my lord said don't do it, I said bah. But I can't keep up, play for a little Lita. Big queso, I'm born with the ether. But I'm still Takahita, no halo. I've been with a head gun, I've been on my King Kong. I've been on what? Check my pedigree, I got legacy in my pot. You playing hopscotch, I'm at top notch on the block. Shouldn't slide like me, nah. Spice it up with a sauce. Yeah, my lord said don't do it, I said what? Check my pedigree, I got legacy in my pot. You playing hopscotch, I'm at top notch on the block. Shouldn't slide like me, nah. Cholula with the sauce. Yeah, my lord said don't do it, I said what?
FUT and Gentlemates, both of these teams currently leading Group Omega, but only one of them will leave today with the 2-0 victory. Tombis, any expectations when we look at the map, Vito?
It's going to be a very interesting one because I feel like FUT have a couple of strong maps coming into the pool, but ultimately we've seen Mate ban Ascent, which they also haven't really been playing too much. And then the Haven ban almost looks like a target. Like, okay, we're going to take out what the opposition likes to play and force them into weaker grounds. Mate have then gone for Icebox, which I think we said, Mitch, when we were talking, it's a bit of a gamble when you don't know what they're going to play.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming in with some unknowns and FUT starting on the attack side as well. If you talk about challenges against a team like this is where I think it's going to shine through more than ever. And also the Ascent being taken out by Mates, it frees up that second round ban. So I think FUT get a good bit of molding over this veto to take it where they want. Ending up on Lotus, you know, it might be a fair enough middle ground between the two, but you have to lean slightly towards FUT if that jet comp is still going to be brought out to the same effect as before. Granted, though it was a 14-12 against Koi, you might want to change it up, but it's a short enough turnaround.
I'm a bit more worried about the first two, because I think Fracture has been a pretty horrific map, at least at kickoff, when we were watching Mates play it. Like, they managed 9 rounds in 2 maps, and on the opposing side, they beat Fnatic and Liquid. Like, you're talking about 2 of the best teams at kickoff. Like, Liquid actually ended up making it the whole way. So I'd say one team in an incredibly good spot, another team in an incredibly weak spot. Unless they've managed to massively change things, and the addition of Kamik, I'll say it rises their firepower. I don't think there's any arguments there, but that needs to be such a huge change going into map number 2.
Yeah, exactly. And as we jump into Agent Select, yes, FUT has not played it yet, and it's going to be both the KO and the Tejo coming on their side. Mitch, what do you make of this composition?
Well, obviously for Mates as well, sticking with the same sort of a comp, I think this is going to allow them to bring the fight to FUT a little bit. For FUT, bringing this out to bear, I'm not against it, to be honest. You're going to have a lot of potential. You're matching the KO for that information.
Triple initiator.
Yeah.
The main thing is, though, the way that FUT have been consistently playing this Tejo, like, look at their Pearl the other week. It was phenomenal. So the ideas they come in with could be great, but they don't have that same, the seizes that they've had before.
But it's also not Mr. Fallen. Like, Mr. Fallen has been the one playing that Tejo the majority of the time. He's been very impactful with it. But Yedaje, we know through and through as a Sentinel player. So I'm now excited to see what he's going to bring on this agent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday, we saw the triple initiator, and it did not look good, obviously from a different team. What do we expect when we move on to the second half?
Playing without Sentinel as well, to be honest, for FUT, I think coming onto the defensive side, there could be a lot of problems for them there. Maybe Yedaje will be hybriding in for that map control.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's not wait any longer. Hazakira, please take us to Icebox.
And take us to Icebox, we will do exactly. Look, Cairo, triple initiator before the KO buffs even come in. We are truly in the end times.
Listen, I'm looking forward to this, though. You look towards Gentlemates, new IGL, kind of new player now. Kamik's already had his debut second game, and going up against FUT, who feel as if they've been the same roster forever, right? That Cole that's stuck around, Zeus, who's been absolutely frying. And, well, a new map to look forward to with a new comp, a triple initiator one.
Let's see if he can continue the trend of which we've seen so far up against the Waylay, yet to register a win. That agent against a non-mirror opponent, and well, it's the first player that drops. Click goes down. That's a kill for Atta, and some time and space to work with for FUT.
Catch at least 2 of the initiators, stopping that owl drone going any further forward. The tail, though, picking up the slack, as FUT don't seem to be stopping, but they are going at a very slow pace.
To the site now, finally flashed up. They fall. It's a double up between Zeus and Yetajay. Those newer players injected into the ancient squad, as you say before, and they hold firm, but just for a moment. Zipan, one back, still plenty to try and recover this, but FUT are falling one at a time. Players out of position, and now a chance to reset in the retake.
This is really winnable. The drone trying to help Mini get back into sight. Doesn't need the information, just playing heads up. Atacaptain already low, cracks his head. Gone! Wow. And so is the rest of FUT. A brilliant way to start Icebox.
That's an electric beginning for Gentlemates. They won both pistols on this map last time out against Liquid, and they'll pick the first one up here as well. Click getting investigative, and that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on, using the Waylay Refract very often paired up with the light speed to get into those deep positions. But then here, FUT, for a team who have been around for so long, guys, like you said, not playing in tandem there whatsoever.
It looked like a disconnect, and it's something that's really out of character for FUT, just because they have always had this sort of characteristic, right, where fundamentally they are so solid. Listen, it's only pistol round though. Getting the outlaw on Zeus as well as a heavy shield.
Mini has a Vandal, of course, as well. Very strong start to him on the IGL. A role which he has held on to before. He had that mantle on Enterprise. And Canna here does get punished by the Outlaw, so Zeus already finding some value, and that is a weapon which can be returned.
There's two players still within touching distance of one Outlaw bullet. One of those is the rifle of Mini.
They, at the very least, have read this pretty well. They've got 3 bodies towards this side of the map. Click again, looking to try and do some of the mid-rounding solo. He's not going to be greeted with any information right now as Atacaptain sat back. The knife comes in, and while there's little plant protection here for FUT, they're going to be able to get the spike on the deck on the B site.
While all that action's going down, there is a late luck coming in from the A side. One to keep your eyes on Atacaptain making his way forward. But mates, they need to get onto this spike soon.
Zeus has to be the main tool right now to try and dissuade the push as it comes in, but it's the rifle back in Yetajay's hands that has already dealt the damage. The captain falling and the rest of the team need to follow this one up. They can't, straight into the face of opposition. The Outlaw oppresses yet again, and it's a 5 versus 2 in FUT's favor. They won't make the same mistake this time. A double peek together will net Yetajay yet another, as that's going to be the scoreline, tied up right out the gate.
There's the last player as well, very well played. An in-zone flawless by FUT. From the get-go though, there seemed to be a plan about how FUT wanted to go about this. The fact that they had that heavy shield Outlaw, which is so out of the ordinary from Valorant.
I mean, yeah, Valorant's the name of the game after all, Cara, but I completely agree with you. FUT have done this a couple of times. We saw it against Koi on Lotus, where Mr. Farland was taking the hit on the pistol round, for example. Yetu loving things as always. And now back to winning ways immediately. They've doubled up on the Outlaw as well. So just looking to punish what is next to nothing here for Gentlemates.
It's a really tough one, being on the defense as well. Your economy immediately being broken.
Very quick over-rotation from mates called off the back of this. Mini just going to snatch straight at it. That's fine. Zeus goes down. That's the tip of the spear. Blunted for now. 4-on-4 situation as the drone clears out. FUT just taking these mid-rounds to reset.
Standing ahead.
Same. Me as well. I mean, mates though are not. They commit every single player towards this site, looking to play outside of the wall and click. Well, he'll get one playing through it.
And mates do have quite a lot of tools to deny a potential plant here as well. You've got to be looking at the molly and the fragment that's just been thrown out by Kamek. They are forcing the issue, and now Atta's in position.
Kada trying to get on himself, but the pistol's not quite working out at all. Classics, you're not expecting the most. Kamek Sheriff though, yeah, there you go. It's the expected outcome. It will be a second for FUT.
Yeah, mates just running themselves into the ground a little bit there. As I said before, I've actually been fairly impressed with some of the defender-sided calls that we've seen from Mini so far. To flesh out that point I mentioned earlier, his time spent on Enterprise, he was the IGL there in Challengers, his main stint in Tier 2. He resided over Benji at that point in time. You know, the guy has skin in the game. It's more in the mid-round, I think, where we had been a little bit concerned, and when we flip over to that attack side, but for now you can see his performance isn't hindered either.
But remember, he also IGL'd the team to second in East back all the way back in Tier 2.
Did, but that's not going to count for much here as Click again has tried to make an opening duel happen for himself. 7 and 18 in terms of those first engagements versus Liquid. It's a stat that he'll be wanting to rid of, and well, that doesn't have looked to have changed so far.
He's trying to flood out into backside A just in case that hit was coming through at the same time though. Kada's going to wander.
We're in the coal mine, but in terms of information, it's just Atta on the extremity yet again playing a traditional lurk role as the rest of FUT creep closer. This contact piece has scaled quite far up, and now they will be without that Viper when the execute comes through. No smokes.
Yeah, FUT may feel as if their hand has been forced here as well. At the same time, they're still trying to come through, but it doesn't work out. Mate's creating a little bit of chaos, but Zeus, well, he's trying to be the lone one on top of 410, making it work. The rifles of FUT hitting, and now it's just the late luck of Kada that has to rescue this round.
You expect this position as well, Kada in behind. Zeus is holding from top 410, is a fairly laboured duel, but Cracks can haul them over the line. So with FUT now having a third round under their belt, and the bye broken of Gentlemates, things are looking on the up for them.
Yeah, it is looking on the up for FUT, and this is something that we're going to have to keep a tab on if Mates can get their economy under control, because on the defence, very difficult to do so. You don't have that extra economy from the spike plants, etc.
It's a big round from Zeus as well. That head-to-head between him and Click, not something that we've spoken about all too much so far. But you're talking about a player who has highest ACS, or did until the floor show took place last night, in the league. Same stat which he had in Turkey the year before.
Something for this round. I know we saw BBL using a lot of the ultimates on ecos, but Mates do have things to work with here, right? You're looking at that lockdown, you're looking at the annihilation. If Gentlemates can put themselves in a position where they can try and capitalise, force players back, you look at that B long, it can be very difficult to hold from there, right? Quick peek out confirms what FUT are up to. Mr. Fallen will be the one to get the pick. FUT's annihilation, though, is the one that's going to be used.
Yeah, it's a small win for Mates in this position, right? Trying to bait out any kind of ultimates that they possibly can. Still a couple left in the war chest for FUT at this point in time. It's Cracks and Atta Captain that will be looking to try and build towards theirs in terms of player positions, though. Is Cracks furthest out towards yellow?
Like, just saved it. Going forward, is able to get one, but I mean, that's all it's realistically going to be when you look at FUT's rifles, the way they're playing off one another. Excellently done. That will be 4.
And after that initial blip that we saw in the pistol round, and it being the one which Mates have been able to post so far, the spacing is looking a lot better for FUT, and I think that's something that we've got to be thinking about. When we talk of the player change and what it is that Zeus brings to the table, different to CNET, as we've had him on the desk here as well. He plays with a rifle in his hands. He's amongst the pack. It helps support players like Cracks that you're seeing on the KO, on the Fade, that have that clearing utility, that are close next to you. That's a discussion we'll get into in a little bit, I think, on his behalf. But yeah, Zeus is very well integrated into this team already, and with that time and kickoff under their belt, you can see the improvements that they've made.
Right now, coaching staff for Gentlemates wanting to stop things and have a chat, because realistically, when we look at the rounds and how they've gone, the only round that Gentlemates have won has technically been a clutch, right, when you think about it. And
Yeah,
it's that pistol round.
Yeah, it's just individual heroics, things like this. Something to keep tabs on at this point in time. Goked leading the charge in terms of the discussions in the timeout. We know that Mini, in terms of what his position is as the in-game leader, it is the sort of the pre-round calls. We're keeping a closer eye on the mid-round. He's become a lot more vocal since Robbie BK's departure. It was an idea that they've been flirting with up until that point anyway, but now having fully committed to it, I think the importance here as well is just, is there any preparation that they can go off? Because for as much as we lauded Gentlemates having brilliant anti, we haven't seen FUT play this map since, the international stage last year.
No, I think we saw them play it in the off-season.
The off-season, but for VCT, I think the last result is best left, if you remember the result.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Well, as for this round, we look towards A as the initial bout goes off. Zeus already up, and well, there's at least 3 players here for Gentlemates.
That toxic screen up, they've just been looking to play behind it. Hunter's Fury coming in, Armageddon the way back. They're fighting forwards here, Gentlemates, and it's working out. Zipan on the tail yet again, starting to already feel quite familiar for him. But closing that gap, getting the space back towards Maze. They can't move any further than the brackets before Zipan gets his second, and Click puts his foot down. Finally, Mates retaliating with some proactive defense. FUT falling flat, in zone flawless.
Magic stuff, brilliantly played by Mates. Just felt as if FUT were maybe caught by their own pace in there. You saw it like trying to ult through, create a little bit of chaos, and it was Mates that were thriving in it. As for FUT, they just didn't really get a grasp of where the positioning was of certain players. They would look away, you can see right now. Oh, it's a lovely...
Saturate.
Yeah. Thank you, mate.
All good.
Ist bereit. Ein Gegner übrig.
I do really like this from Gentlemates, though, staying proactive, and I think this is something that we will have to critique FUT for. When you're running triple initiator, we saw the issues with it from BBL yesterday. If you're not making the most of that clearing utility, it comes in cycles. You have plenty of signatures in there, such as the 0 point, for example, that KO knife. You want to be using that off rip and then seeing where you can find value for it then later in the round.
I think as well, though, when you look at FUT's composition and what they're running with the triple initiator, this is obviously going to be the best half in terms of they can be oppressive with their utility, the clearing, etc. But when they move on to this defense, is that lack of a sentinel going to be an issue?
That's the question, right? You're kind of wondering, do they play heavier for retake? Are they getting aggressive? Are you putting Zeus in dangerous positions? Is that what the setup is? Because when I think of Gentlemates, for example, and how they play, you would assume that it was centered around Click, and while we do have a brief intermission here with a tech pause, I think it's nice to reopen a discussion that was being had late last year, over on Twitter by JT. I mean, he started it as the analyst for Gentlemates now. He was with Heroic Valkyries at the time, just talking about the kind of system that was being run on SK with Click and how much value you can get from a player like him.
Yeah, I mean, when you think towards his position in Tier 2 and the ceiling that he was able to reach performance-wise, he really was the hyper carry. And I think for now, and especially when you see how Click is playing the Waylay, it's very much gaining ground, right? Clearing the space.
Yeah, he was in the top percentile last year for first engagements, and that one SK half a round on average more than any other team in Tier 2 and above. So that's the reason why Click got picked up. He can have those moments, but the big point that centered off that was that it can take a lot of resources to try and set that up sometimes, whereas here in this version of Gentlemates, like you already said, he doesn't feel like a player that you're relying on to throw a boatload of utility at. He is just creating the space for the rest of his team off the back of his own play.
Yeah, FUT going for a timeout here. Obviously the last round not going as well as it possibly could. Gentlemates doing really well at being proactive on the defense and using ultimates to create effect. So after Gentlemates have made their changes, FUT are going to make theirs now.
Just wondering here, I guess, as well, how Mini wants to try and use the lockdown at any point in time. You're getting close to a pit as well. Ultimates which you can control areas of the map pretty decisively. And with Atta still having his own pit, right, that is the logical counter that you would think of.
Another thing though, right, if you are FUT, Cracks close to his null command, that could be an easy way to get yourself in towards sites and stop any of those sort of ultimates coming online, and then maybe create a further plan, taking more space towards screens, for instance, where that lockdown would usually go down.
And to just then bring that back to the game state, we're coming into a big ult cycle, ladies and gents, if you couldn't tell. These next couple of rounds could decide how the rest of the half ends up looking, whether FUT can stay in front, because that's what they're trying to aim and do right now. Zeus leading the line, top side B.
Already taking that space, although Cracks has been left towards mid, and it's going to confirm an advantage for FUT. Spike goes down. What does the post plant look like?
They are very restricted right now, and the pit's just going to fall immediately. Mini still holding on to the lockdown, doesn't need it. His second kill already before Yetijay is forced to face the music. He'll get one, but that's not enough. So much more that Mates are able to do, completely constricting FUT.
Mini looks like a superstar every time we see him in a game, map to map. As an IGL as well, the responsibility that he holds, not just because of the calling, but just performance-wise as well.
Yeah, and when you then begin to draw that comparison between him and Mr. Fallen on the other side for FUT, a player who, has also gone through the same kind of process as Mini, where he was regarded one of the best up-and-coming IGLs out of Turkey.
They're scared now.
And as you can tell, Click starting to intensify things just a little bit more. Is that promise has been delivered on for FUT, that they've made international events now, but whereas for Mates, it is a process.
So far, the way FUT have been playing this attack, very straightforward, very to the point, executing maybe a little bit slower, but sticking to one side of the map, right? Right now, this is the first real proper default that we're seeing. Spike not committed anywhere, exploring every avenue.
Yeah, may need to be a little bit careful here. It was just Kamek towards B, but a rotation made. Kada supporting, has the toxic screen towards A. Mid left completely open. After FUT made that move in the previous round, the expectation from mates is that, you know, you don't double dip, you're not going back. So they set up accordingly, and with that stealth drone finding info A, they should have the read.
Should do. And it looks like they're committing to it. Want to re-clear mid though, just to be sure there's not any late lurks that we saw from Cracks in that last round. Null Command invested, straight in. Mates can't stop anything at the minute in terms of utility, so they're held back.
Yeah, as I said before, there is little plant security here, so it's really just the null command you're relying on to actually get this one down. But as they drop back into a deeper post plant, look at the ults that Mate have to come back in with. Even just a lockdown well placed through the middle of sight from Mini could be all the difference in re-securing long.
See Mr. Fallen, he's already wanting to try and
the
take
wall.
more space, and the wall's done so well. It's just a quick spam. Mates haven't thought about this, and it's such a simple way to deal with the lockdown. Trying to get out of the wall, and it's Mr. Fallen with 3, Actor Captain with 2, and FUT get 5.
Mr. Fallen says, you want to see a fragging IGL? I'm going to show you one. Taking matters into his own hands, and it just feels like a slight oversight from Gentlemates. I mean, you invest the lockdown and it's just cut short. The second layer from Atta is so well timed as well after they hadn't really been present mid. As we say, they didn't start the round with any pressure there. Mate's happy to give it up, but then they pay a hefty price as the round drags on.
It's so hard as well, because you see Mates, they pay a little bit of attention, they clear it before going for that retake. And then again, as you said, that extra layer, that late luck coming back through it. Similar round in terms of where the players' positionings are. Spike actually committed towards the B side once again. Kamek hanging around like he did last time. No punish though.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, 0 point, just tagging up 3 players, taking the drone offline, not maximizing the space. You can see FUT always leaving at least one player towards A, whether it's a lurk or just waiting for Click to throw himself at the belt. There's a big gap towards Snowman here, and so Click is holding on from Kitchen, but it's an isolated duel, one which Click will win.
Be right back.
Oh, head glitch there. Sorry, it's not a head glitch, you know what I mean, head peek. I'm so used to it from old esports, but Kada gets fallen, Kamek helping. The lone, well, the Viper in towards this FUT, right at a stop here. No way out, no way to try and rescue this, and Click's got the information needed to lay up the slam dunk of an in-zone flawless.
Brilliant, and even just that double light speed from Click over the top towards the end signifies to you at home what exactly his role is in the team. Again, just creating space for the rest of his team. Kind of like how you've seen a Neon player before, just use that slide to open up some extra space and drag the crosshair away from position. Kamek does a brilliant job here at holding sight, and you know, with what he was saying after the game last week as well, saying he feels like he has more responsibility in this team as well as like the second caller as things have been reshuffled a little bit. He gets the reinforcements that he wants. Into the next gun round, FUT will want a response, otherwise the scoreline's tied again.
Utility coming through. I mean, it's the drone usually to try and identify the position of the B player. Look at Kamek though, he was the player that was being further up B, he's now towards Kitchen, and you can see Gentlemates thinking about actually starting to move up on the A side. Instead, they're going to pull back, not capitalising off the stealth drone information.
Take flight.
And I wonder what FUT do with this too, because it wasn't quite caught on screen, but as we shift back to the players, I think 2 or 3 of them suppressed towards B long. This is such an important area of the map for the attackers, because you've got to go clearing it, and that's what Kada's going to do. Face checking around the corner of yellow. It's Zeus to solo peek it into the poison. Choked alive, Cracks. And with Click up the guts of mid as well, he'll cut off the rotate for good measure. This is, well, I was going to say a potential back-to-back in-zone flawless, but you know, damned not to happen as soon as those words leave my lips. Mate, very good, mate.
poor patter, mate. But with that being said, what we are seeing is some very good rounds. Kada doing very well to hold on to yellow, and you can see the partnership with Kamek on this B side of the map.
In terms of that KO utility, we saw a few times before from Mate with it being Zipan on that role, but obviously the change making sense in terms of comfortability. Kamek, one of his more played agents, is suiting them so well in terms of the supportive flashes. So light towards this B side though, they've been able to do a lot more than the sum of their parts so far.
It's the first time we've seen Gentlemates really trying to be aggressive.
And how do you get out here as well? The Armageddon's right behind them, they've got to fight yellow.
They've got to try and get something, and well, they've already got one. Kamek got brought low, and they're looking still to keep going forward. The KO flash, the flashpoint, absolutely picture perfect, and so is the luck from Atta Captain.
Finding crazy timings as Yetu's just going to add more fuel to the fire. Mini last left, and that Armageddon just boxed in the rest of Mate. Nowhere that they could possibly go. Mini 1 kill deep into the clutch effort, but it goes no further. The 6th secured at long last for FUT.
Hey, listen, at least they're going to come into towards the next half at an even scoreline at the bare minimum. They'll be wanting to capitalise now, push it forward to 7, taking the advantage, because they've been sitting on this for so long, this advantage.
Seeing the flash here into yellow as well. So well timed to take down those two players, and that's one of the problems as well. When you are a little lighter on the hold, you have to consider what space you're able to hold on to, and then Teho doing Teho things makes you completely adjust the scales once again, as there was no retreat in sight. Final round of the half, Kamek holding onto an op, but it's the first thing that gets spotted.
Same again that we saw previously with the Hunter's Fury being used off rip on A, but FUT scaling so much slower compared to last time. Scared of what Gentlemates could do on the A side.
Well, and because they know it, they've set up an alarm bot as well. Mini has deep control to where the orb is. Not really been fighting for this kind of control all too often, but it's a nice early heads up. A little bit of pressure put towards B. Atta deposited late. His value in a lot of these rounds has come from the lurks, but he looks to be backing away while the drone's coming up.
Re-cleared out. I mean, at the same time, the Gentlemates identify that as the lurker and start to commit towards A with the pressure that's coming on and the spike being down. It certainly looks like it. Trading even going one better. Now in a 3 versus 2, and you still have Click's ultimate to be used.
Still holding on to it. Gonna send it in a little bit earlier, and actually it's just a solo play. Click right in, refracts back, but you've only got 10 points of health, and all of a sudden the pool isn't looking as healthy as it was before. But Mini still stands tall, nearly on for the ace, but it's snatched away at the final moment. And now Yetu with a chance to close the half. To step back as the stun drops, and Zipan will finally confirm it. We'll be all even.
We certainly will, Hazard. Going all even, and I think that's complementary to both teams and how they've played this half so far. A very nice back and forth between the two.
Absolutely has been the kind of start that they would have wanted. But we've got a word from the birthday boy. Let's hear about Click's experiences at kickoff and how he's feeling about this game against FUT.
First, kickoff was really exciting, to be honest. I was anyway looking up to it. I remember the first game was also really exciting because I don't know how many viewers we had. Alone our CEO, this guy had 300, 400K on Twitch, you know? So it was really fun to play, and there were also a lot of fans. So it was just first time in my life I see stuff like this, you know, that so many people, so many just fans cheering at you.
I'm ready big, guys. I'm ready big.
Against FUT, well, I just look forward to it, to be honest, because a lot of people say Turkish teams, they shoot really hard, you know, and I know this is also my strength. So I literally, it's full ego fight. They want to aim fight, bro, I go aim fight. If the better one will win, you know. So I really look forward for this match.
He'll be hoping for a result today to cap off what is his 19th birthday. So happy birthday to Click, and for everyone in the arena. I don't exactly expect you all to sing him a song. It's a Thursday afternoon after all, but yeah, for everyone watching at home, go send some wishes to the guy.
Yeah, exactly. Get it in the chat. But with that being said, has a long way to go. 12 rounds remaining. Only takes 7 of them to finish out this map.
5 of the last 7 going the way of Gentlemates means that they have managed to wrangle themselves a little bit of control into this second half and the attack. Where you look to that Waylay once again, as I said before, the only win for Waylay so far was against another Waylay comp ran by Liquid. It was Mates that won it, but her track record in all other maps, still 0 wins, still on the donut, and we just want to get that first little bite of the donut. You know, we want that first win.
Yeah, but again, we've already hinted towards it, how FUT want to play on this defense, almost maybe like an attack as you start to look towards mid here, and the fact that 2 initiators are right behind Zeus.
Yeah, and there's a flash coming in as well to just incentivize the peak. Click playing forwards into the refract, falls back Zeus, double kill.
Easy as that. At the same time, Mates are going to pivot, try and get on towards A, and hopefully get a spike plant down.
It's a tap just for now. They are looking for extra jewels, something to just move the needle back and help the numbers, the man count, as they do trail by just the 1 for now, looking for a fight.
At the same time, because they've been tapping the spike and trying to bait everyone in for a peak, FUT are all here. They're ready for this.
Who's taking the contact? Mini having a little bit of a look. 2 players towards screen as Zeus gets yet another. Dashes past to set up Atta as FUT come crashing back through. The A site their own. A 7th round has secured the lead again.
You can see what Gentlemates are trying to do, but it's the tee up in towards mid, taking the advantage, and also being so disciplined in the retake.
And that's one of the advantages that FUT have coming into this as well, is that there is tape on how Gentlemates like to play Icebox, whereas nothing can be said, the inverse. It was another A pistol that we saw from them previously, and that's why they go for the mid setup, right? You can get a nice quick early flank if we do see a repeat. I mean, Mates did try and interact with it a little bit. Didn't work out for them. And they're not going to be fancying their chances of any kind of an outlaw buy on the second round this time.
I don't think so. Almost something similar when you look towards mid. This time it's the 3 initiators that are trying to take that space once again.
Cracks cross-map knife, so Garage already confirmed to be vacant, and with Mate grouping up towards A, it is a 4-player stack.
A load of damage. That's why it's going to be easy for Click to trade out. At the same time, though, you have to try and gain control of backside. Stop players peeking you, and it's Mr. Fallen's Ghost that's actually the one doing the most damage. It's not looking good at all as Mini Sheriff tries to get to work, but it will work at nothing. That's a 2-round advantage that FUT are able to grab.
And responding really well to the setup as well. Like, I think Yetu had huge value from his special delivery there. A birthday present for Click perhaps dropped on towards default. No one capitalizing directly off the back of the stun as you see it land in there. But Mr. Fallen in and amongst it, 16 and 7 as it stands. It's both IGLs leading the way. I don't really know how that works, but hey, big brain, big aim.
Hey, listen, that's what it's got to be, right? Still be long. Look at Zeus, he's ready for this. A tee up, it's absolutely gorgeous. Can't quite get the third though, but it's teed up at a captain in towards Garage.
That captain's already parked up in the garage. Hangs around here too long, he's gonna get a ticket, mate. Need to clear this space out, but they've not really considered it at all. He is going to remain to be that deep deposit, and while Mini's not going to give away any steps, it's a stab in the back that you're just waiting for.
This 0-point lead could be absolutely massive. At the same time, though, at a captain.
Wait,
how does he play this? How does he cleared it? Absolutely perfect. Mates doing well to try and convert from a bad position, and Kamek finishing it off with a little cherry on top.
I like that from Kada. Walks around, clamps the tire in the end finally, like, yeah, mate, you've been here for far too long. You thought I forgot about you? No, I'm coming back for that one. So,
it's like being VAR'd, isn't it? Like, you think you've just scored it and it gets brought back.
Yeah, the celebration swiftly muted. I mean, this was brilliant from Zeus to just kick things off. 2 kills off the back of the flash, and then Kada taking control of the situation as
good job.
One of the more experienced heads on this team, I think it's fair to say, after doing his fair share of work in challenges as well.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at both teams because they're essentially both products of the Tier 2 system.
FUT, different age, debut yet.
Mid though, Mini's found a little pocket to work within.
could he be cooking up in the kitchen here? I mean, this is a very cautionary drone that's going to come out from Mr. Fallen. And yeah, Click does find the kill towards Yellow. So right now, Mini is a big Yellow distraction. And as the drone flares off on his position, mates get into theirs, right on the site, digging heels in on B. Zeus clawing one back as he always does, but so much work left to be done.
Still need to get on the spike. Oh, nearly denied yet. Tiji almost able to flick back. Still though, a significant advantage.
Zeus, one more kill, would have had the dash up, but the player who charges in front this round is Click, tying the scoreline 8 apiece.
I mean, massive from Mini, right? Finds a little gap, and taking damage from the spam or wherever it's come from. But on top of that, as you said perfectly, a big Yellow distraction for FUT to try and collapse upon, when at the same time it put mates into a position to try and swing towards deep mid, towards those back positions, and yeah, FUT just lost so much space there.
I think too, when you have the Teho, you can make these really deep clears, and I think the synergy between the dash on Click and obviously Kamik's flashes as well, you're seeing the value. Ada keeping an eye on Garage. 1v1 opposite number. Nice shot at her. Does this force mates' hands? They've still got over a minute and 20 seconds to play around with, but now feeling A inclined. Refract is enabled. It gets the saturate off, but with the suppression, he is locked into this site, and so is the rest of the team.
Spike should be easy to go down. Blades being used. That rifle can be chucked over to one of Zeus's teammates. That's exactly what happens.
Crack still has both flashes here on the way back through, and Zeus with blades in hand. We're looking to take a fight, but instead mates want to go on the offensive, or at the very least, just slow them down with the hinder.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really hard to try and get back into. You've got to be thinking salvos are still there. Mini still has the nano swarms as well as Kamik having his molly.
Already bought half of the time off the spike, and that will continue to tick away. Zeus removes the first of those players as Krax gets on towards the defuse. Deep positioning from mates. They need to try and get back on the line. Look for a fight. It's Zeus dictating the play instead. A swing from Kamik to save the day, but he goes down early. And so Mr. Fallen will give FUT a pace safeguard thrifty.
Yeah, I don't know, like, when you see all of mates falling back, you're thinking, well, it's just a post plant, right? There's no way that FUT are able to get back onto this, and it's not only that, Zeus does so well to try and take the fight on the front line. This is absolutely insane.
The attack helicopter flying through the sky, man.
AC-130.
Armed and dangerous.
Really well played. Zeus does absolutely brilliant.
And there is never a round write-off when he has those blades in his hands.
I don't think there's ever a round write-off when it's FUT.
Yeah, that's probably a fair assessment as well, but we have to give the same credit to mates right now. Click, deep clear boiler, gets the value from it this time. It's a kill onto Mr. Fallen, and he's out of dodge.
This is lovely stuff. At the same time, FUT need to try and get something back, but in the meantime, losing players.
Oh, this is a really nice choice from Asa Captain. He's going to fight in towards main deep, where he has the flank coming in. Now Zipan is the player who's hot under the collar, where instead it would have been him as the anchor on the site. Zipan wins the fight, though. It's just one player. Where is Yetu in all of this? He's hedged his bets, and, well, neither of them have come up.
This is not looking good whatsoever. Still, Brawl ensues. Zipan finally dealt with. The spike's been ticking away this full time.
It has. It's boiling over right now. The cauldron cooked away by mates. In position, Kamik holding firm onto Yellow. He's got contact from Click deep in Snowman. Set up for success as time continues to play against FUT. Another player dropping to the deck. It's Yetuje this time, as Kamik has found a triple for himself on the round. But that all spins back to be long.
Yeah, it does. Zipan does excellently, but also on top of that, Gentlemates realising the mistakes, not letting players take them off guard.
I love this deep dive from Click. He did it a couple of times on the attack against Liquid, but most of that was just trying to create a little bit of space. There wasn't a full rollout. You weren't seeing the extra value. He's managed to land it a little bit more practice on the lineup, perhaps. And you're golden.
I think as well, like, on top of that, FUT are interacting with mid a lot here, right, in terms of the utility that they're using out here. A early Viper's pit towards 8.
Let's go very quiet on the map. Scurrying of drone steps as they give each other a chest bump. No players caught in the process. Yetu is suppressed now, and he is solo yellow.
Very lenient, I guess, with the uses of the Hunter's Fury that we're seeing come through from Mr. Fallen. No real value to come off the back of it.
No. It's just a couple of players in position. I mean, they were thinking about potentially re-exploring A.
Kraxus has no flashes either here, so it's just straight up gunfights.
So you can stall a little longer. The salvos at the feet, and then as he turns his head around, Click has found a different point of entry. SJ's head explodes as the Armageddon goes on site. A slight gap. Mr. Fallen falling in the bag. Nano Swarm dropping beside him. And as he tries to play forward, Zeus in support, it's not going to be enough for them. Gentlemate staring down the possibility of double digits here. As FUT's rifle round has gone to pot. Atta is going to get one on the fadeaway, but he needs 3 more.
Still has an orb to work with as well. He could try and disguise on the spike, but he won't even get onto it. Double digits confirmed for Gentlemates.
Nice stop-start round from Gentlemates on B-Long there. As we said before, it's not just about the space that you take, but then the denial of information. And Yetijay's hands are tied from that position. If you go and face check as the Teho at that point in the round, when you'd already invested your drone, you don't want to be the guy that gives away the bozo death that sort of ruins the round for the rest of your team, but you also need confidence, you know? If you're afraid to win, then every move is a risk.
Now, into a timeout, we're starting to get to crunch time, right? These two teams have been trading rounds back and forth, at least it would seem like that, but Gentlemates are the ones who are able to string these rounds together, right? It's looking more concrete from the attack. And something I wanted to talk about, Hazza, is the fact that, like, Gentlemates are actually only a year behind FUT in terms of the life cycle if you look at both rosters, right? Both have come from Tier 2. FUT won VRL Finals in 2022, and then you look at Gentlemates, they won Ascension in 23, right? You look at the development of the roster, both rosters and how it's going.
Yeah. That's the asterisk, right? Both rosters, because you are talking about a different team here. I think one of the big things for me is that if Gentlemates can, you know, confirm this, find a way to beat FUT against all odds. Well, you know, both of these teams are top of their group as it stands.
Yeah.
But few people would have thought that Gentlemates would be in this position. They haven't won 2 games in a row since it was the French side that came up from the lower bracket of Ascension in 2023 to beat Apex. It feels like every single time the roster played a team before, it would be, you know, a weaker team and then a stronger team.
Yeah.
You had Liquid with the changes. Now you're coming into, what, you know, FUT on form. So, hey, if you can find a win today, then perhaps they have just hit their stride.
And I think as well, considering yesterday's result against BBL, this would rip the group right open, identifying that Zeus has taken a forward position and Gentlemates straight in towards Kitchen.
A lot of pace about this, despite the fact it's an anti-eco, and right into the spawn they go! Click doubling up, dishing out all of the damage. I mean, if you look at FUT right now, they are so split up from one another. You had that fight in spawn, all of a sudden, trying to fill the gap through the snow pile. Gentlemates all over them like a rash in terms of what you hope to try and take away from this round. Maybe a bit of damage, but credits are building up.
Kamek's ready for this. Flash is actually spot on, but can't capitalise. Click certainly looks to, but I mean, it's only just one. Kada will be the one to finish it off. We are getting closer and closer to map finish.
Next gun round is huge. The winner of this one. Map point for Gentlemates up against their FUT, half by at best, you think. And now you can see that Click is starting to play with confidence. As I said before, not necessarily the player who in this team you're investing so much to set him up, but as he's come on leaps and bounds from that SK team, which feels completely different to this Gentlemates roster.
Yeah.
This is a roster with the goal of staying in VCT rather than staying in the DAC League.
Yeah, that's totally different standards. And on top of that, as for this round, we're going to be looking at the ultimate game. That's the big thing that'll be the difference, and with it being so harsh on FUT's economy, I mean, you can see both teams looking for it. Zeus looking for a kill, but can't get it.
Second round in a row, he's gone for that play.
Oh, Yetishi can't get more than 2 and easily picked up Kamek. Gentlemates can just go straight into this with an advantage.
All of the time in the world, and as the Killjoy lockdown drops in, there's no way to deny it. Yetijay gone. Can't combine the Armageddon or salvos, a hefty investment perhaps. But free reign over the A site is the name of the game for Gentlemates right now, and a possibility to get the spike plant in. Click! Hungry as ever, but perhaps his eyes bigger than his stomach, because with that we go back 3-on-3. Kamek to stabilize, Spike only just getting picked back up.
Gentlemates have plenty of time to rotate to B, play around with the map, create pressure points elsewhere in the map to move FUT, and on top of that, they have a player advantage. They just need to be wary of when FUT come back in, they will have the null command.
Yeah, they will. And with the knife just being used on A, Krax has called this rotation ahead of time. Mr. Fallen coming into the retake will have the recon.
I don't think Kada wants to use the Viper's Pit either, but just because of how easily you'd be spammed out.
Death's door, and he's arrived! Crossed the threshold! Krax kicking him over the doorstep. 3 kills picked up, and now all eyes to Mini.
If there's anybody you want to rely upon, it has to be Mini.
So many clutches last year, but now making his debut on the big stage. Will he be blinded by the lights, or can he take them all for himself? A 12th round R-Stop. It's fragged out so heavily thus far, but going wide for the first. It's Krax to shut down the second. He is the star of this round. A quad kill, which keeps FUT in it.
Excellently done. On top of that, the pressure that would have been on it, and FUT just playing together. Zeus very unlucky not to get one pick. I mean, so uncharacteristic. And for me, Yetiji is the hero of this round. Being able to get that double kill, bring it so close. I'll see that. Kraxis was pretty much the hero.
Yeah. I mean, look, he gets a double kill, but then Krax gets a double-double. I mean,
yeah, double.
The, steady. The null command making things interesting for us here on the commentary desk, but you can already see Click preparing the light speed. The ult ready, Zeus in position, but with his presence detected, he drops back.
I respect it, right? The utility being put forward by Gentlemates. At the same time, though, you can see Krax is holding this flash.
Play queued up for FUT, but it's just not going to come to all that great effect. And while Zipan's going to be hindered, doesn't matter. It's only Click that we have to worry about right now, but he can't find the space, and so it's a second expedition to the site with utility once more.
It's seen Kamek can't quite get the kill he was looking for. At the same time, Annihilation coming on down, trying to force players out. But I don't know if FUT want this smoke. It looks like Gentlemates have everything they need. And that's going to be map point.
A brilliant round for Mates to win. They respond immediately, and as good as that previous round win was, it was only Krax left standing. A hero moment to save them for just that point in time. And it's a modified defensive setup here as they try to flood backside, or at least fill that gap a little bit more with bodies.
We aim so much better, I swear. Let's go.
This is...
when it comes to the duels, they were prepared.
Yeah, they were. And on top of that, Hazza, things get worrying when you look at this buy. When you look, what FUT actually have to try and finish out or get close to finishing, stopping Gentlemates finishing out this map. There's an ultimate still to be used in Kada's pocket as well. Gentlemates in the perfect position to try and finish this map out.
Gentlemates, with every passing round, the attack speed increases, turning the dial, increasing the pressure. But with a reclear, little bit of mid-rounding here after that first phase of utility coming through, so the salvos should return to Zipan momentarily, as they have left Mini in position, calling away from the rest of the pack to set up the team to now take mid-control.
He's thinking about this.
He's gonna be overwhelmed unless he hits a call out or something crazy. No, it's just Click at the front of the horde once more, and now Atta to be overwhelmed.
Needs to try and hold on to something, you think.
Mini.
Oh no.
Oh, hello.
That's a little bit of a disaster. At least the rest of the roster's there to try and close this out. It's around the world, and it's going to be a map win for Gentlemates. A brilliant start.
Previous international representatives looking to head towards Toronto as far as FUT are concerned, but it is this worldwide Gentlemates European roster which are starting to show some serious levels, especially on Icebox. A first win for Waylay against a non-mirror as well. Plenty of positives to take away. Can they make more of it after the break?
so good. Boys, you're so good. They're scared. This move, what we did, they're scared now.
Nice. Come here.
Of course.
Check me again, come here.